Alright, so hello everyone and welcome back to the world of Empire Total War, playing as Austria, using the Imperial Splendour mod 2.0 and just generally dominating the world. Unfortunately, I guess we won't be able to dominate the world, but what we will be able to do is to dominate at least Africa for now. And of course, I've been away for quite some time when it comes to recording and doing everything like that in general when it comes to this channel, and I think that it's about time I went back to this campaign and finished what I started, not to mention just generally just trying to upload more often on this channel because you know, it's been a while since I played a Total War game. It's been a while since I played Empire Total War. And Empire Total War, you know, even though it gets a lot of flack, it's still my favorite Total War game. I've got the most hours in it. And out of all the Total War games, apart from maybe Shogun 2, Follow the Samurai, it's probably my most favorite time period when it comes to just the general setting. I really love basically anything from up to the mid 20th century, from the mid 17th century is like the time period that I just adore. I think that's like the most interesting time period, like imperialism and spreading empires, you know, growing nationalism, stuff like that. It's just my favorite time period. So it's been coming, you know, it's been coming. What? It's about time that I return to this game, is what I'm trying to say, and failing completely at it. So, the general situation that we find ourselves in right now, in this campaign right here, is quite interesting. We're roughly, not that, we're roughly halfway done with the total victory regions held thing. But the main issue we're facing right now is that there aren't many opportunities for us to expand in any sort of meaningful way. The main plan right now is to just snake across the African section of the map, the European map that is, and just, you know, capture basically Libya, the Algiers, and stuff like that. I can't believe Libya didn't get like its own separate region here, but I suppose it's split between these two, so I guess it's okay. And then apart from that, I suppose we just have to take out Genoa. I've been talking about it for decades now, and the game probably literally decades in the game's life logic thing right now. And so it's about time we do it. Do they have any allies? Yes, Spain. We are also at war with Spain, of course, because why not? So the main issue, if Spain had like a lot of regions right here, that would be sensible. The thing is, Spain is one province, so that's a bit of an annoyance to say the least. We also have to take out Morocco, because as it so happens, the Barbary states, who everybody hates, is a protectorate of Morocco, because why wouldn't they be, you know? Why wouldn't they be just incredibly annoying? We're at war with, no, we're allied to Persia, not at war with them, but, you know, it's kind of strange. These guys don't have any allies, so you might want to take them out, just swallow them up. Even though they do like us, but they do have quite a... It's not a good army per se, but the range is insane compared to our just regular units. Even regular units, it's insane. So that might be a big old bother. Might actually try sailing to India right now that I'm looking at the situation here, because we don't necessarily require a big ship to do that. We only, you know, have to have like a sloop or something like that. Just do a little, you know, sea navigation right here. Land near to, you know, the Mughal Empire. Do the Mughals like us? No, they don't. They well, they have a indifferent relationship to us, but they're allied to Persia, so that might be a big old problem. However, we are trading with the Marathon, so that's not very... that's not gonna work out too well, is it? So we either break our alliance with Persia and take on the Mughals, or just attack the Persians, because that's the easiest way to proceed. The Persian army in general this game is pretty bad, as well as the Mughal Empire's army. The Marathons, they do have an interesting roster, however, that's usually very low quality. It's not necessarily something that I am very afraid of facing. But first things first, I think we need to attack these guys, declare war. We're not going to call anyone in, they're at war with them anyway. And we're just going to do our thing. There's an army here, we can probably take them on fairly easily. And I think we should probably... These guys still unhappy? I think they were unhappy, weren't they? Yes, they were. Well, they aren't anymore. So I think we are fairly safe in just bringing this army along to snake along with this army. Just, you know, this army is going to probably take out these guys, then take out Tripoli, rebuild for a little bit, and then maybe this army can catch up to it fairly safely and easily. And how's our money situation? 11,000 is okay. Do people hate me more or less because of what I did? I think they should I think they should be fairly okay with us. Yes, everybody's relatively happy, apart from the guys that we just attacked. We're also at war with Morocco, however, if we do this... No. Maybe we'll work something out eventually. Denmark... I'm not gonna give you Hungary for Iceland, mate. Not happening. But overall, alliances in the European theater are fairly okay. We are fairly okay. Eventually we're gonna have to attack Genoa, however first I would like to take Tripoli. Because, you know, I just do. In general here, maybe we could sabotage the army. Mission successful, very nice. What they have, can't really see it because why would you? You know, even though it's the same sort of action. Can't see anything. Unfortunate, however, a majority of their units are inferior, if not basically on the same level as my units, so I think we can just auto-resolve that. It's gonna be fairly easy. Okay, so we're at war with those guys. They have very poor regions, but maybe we can make up for it with something. This is a Spanish navy that's been bothering me for quite a while now. Genoa... These guys, yeah, if we capture this, the city of Genoa itself, and build a sloop here, might be able to take this region out fairly quickly. So it's gonna be all nice and cozy. Okay, let's enter, and we're gonna see what happens, because well, because I want to see what happens. That's sort of obvious, isn't it? So, because it's been a while, I thought I'd just bring along a nice hot cup of coffee. Did you say a cup of coffee? Or I suppose you do, don't you? A cup of tea, but very nice. Even though it's like, what time is it? Oh yes, 1:13 AM. The best time to record a video from an 18th century strategy game. Damn, the Polish suck. They weren't able to take out Lvov. Take back Lvov, I suppose. They have to take back Lvov. The Polish situation in Empire Total War in general, even basically in this period of time in history, is it's quite a curious one. The Polish never really could catch a break ever. It's stuck between a rock and a hard place, pretty much throughout their entire existence. As soon as Georgia takes out that big old fuck-off stack from their city, I might be able to attack it, take it quickly. Cecil Mission, Boris Schmidt. Very curious name. Can't really see their army well, but I think we should take it out just in case. Victory, very few losses, very nice. Very nice. And of course it's expensive, because why wouldn't it be? However, their army probably... Can we just take it out again? That would be very nice, just to completely deal with their military forces very early. That would... yeah, and Tripoli is almost unprotected, of course. They do have some... Siraj Janissary Militia, which is a militia unit, so hopefully it's... Oh, that's between Lithuania and Denmark. I was a bit worried there that they broke their relations with me. That would have been quite bad. But Prussia, man, Prussia still standing strong. But with Minsk and Lvov, they're basically just Belarus at this point. Okay, so that's that happening. This might be okay, however it's expensive. 5,000 for a cinema thing. That's not necessarily something we want to deal with right now. So, these guys... Wait, where's that recruitment? Can't really see. 10% to recovery chance of battle casualties. That's actually really good. This guy's pretty good. And he's almost dead. Because why wouldn't be... this is a really bad trait. Whatever. Let's just keep on trucking. These guys, relatively not really happy, but what can you do? It's nature of the game, isn't it? Everybody's unhappy constantly, basically. Not entirely sure if it's this mod. I haven't played a vanilla game in quite a while, but I don't think people were this unhappy all the time. Even though you're playing as Austria-Hungary, to be fair, but still, it's sort of like, what? Maybe I should play as like France or Britain in like an alternate scenario or something. What are the French doing? The French they're at war with Lithuania, so that's a non-issue. They're very friendly with us. This is the main issue I'm running into with this campaign right now in this position. The fact that we focused on the Ottomans so much and basically just stormed through, which is basically just now the Byzantine Empire at this point. We have reformed the Byzantine Empire of the early days, basically. Before the year 1000, we even own basically the regions in Italia that they managed to conquer at some point. Not wholly. They basically stopped roughly around this section. Never quite managed to completely unify like the entire region that Rome encompassed, like the Western Roman part. But yeah, at this point we've reformed the Eastern Roman Empire under Justinius, so that's quite neat. That's quite neat, if I do say so myself. We're about to take out Tripoli. I'm not entirely sure if they managed to control Tripoli. Never quite the best when it comes to Eastern Roman history, but I think they did manage to do something akin to that. So this is okay. Maybe we should start demolishing some of these colleges and instead build like. We don't need them anymore, like our like especially if it's like this low level. Actually, that low level is pretty decent. Like Florence here. We don't need this at all. It's researching. Minus 5% recruitment cost for all naval units. That's pretty decent, but it's gonna take 12 turns. Do we really want to wait 12 turns for that? This is 45 turns. Do we really want a college? That's basically pointless right now. Probably not. Probably not. So let's destroy it, because it's doing nothing for us, and instead focus on money. Let's gain some money. And yeah, the church schools are okay. This is okay. We should probably build that up. I'm not entirely sure why I haven't done that before. It's built tall because we've already gone wide. This is the main issue with Empire Total War, is that even though you go extremely wide, you can build like the biggest empire ever. Your monetary situation is just gonna be trash, because this game doesn't reward empire building, even though it's in the name. It rewards trade income more than empire building. So building our empire. Let's switch out. We have like Yeah, let's switch out these two. There we go. It doesn't reward empire building as much as it rewards... it doesn't reward empire building within Europe, basically, or maybe like within... Like these provinces here in French-controlled, basically Louisiana, the French American holdings. These provinces here are trash, apart from New Orleans or Lower Louisiana itself, or the state of Louisiana now. The other parts are complete trash, apart from Canada, obviously. Everything else is just, you know, like even the Cherokee territories and the Kentucky territory, I suppose, though they both belong to the Cherokees in the beginning of the game, whatever. They're trash, along with Texas, New Mexico. Mexico's okay. This is actually a relatively decent territory, because I think there's some trade here. Panama's decent. Dutch Guiana and French Guiana are basically the two best provinces you can have in the entire game. Paris is very good, but you have to spend a lot of time trying to quell rebellions if you don't control it, as France itself. France has a lot of potential to grow because they're right next to Dutch Guiana. They can take him out. They can invade the Netherlands. Amsterdam's a pretty good city. They can invade London and hold basically 3 of the best provinces within the entire game, and like within 5 turns, as opposed to the provinces that we crawled through painstakingly. The only really good city we got was Istanbul, and apart from that, maybe Ankara is pretty decent. Damascus is okay, however 400 per turn, not very good because there isn't a lot of trade. We have what do we trade here, like cotton and a little bit of some industry here, mining and industry itself, but trade is really what gets you a lot of money in this game. If you don't have a lot of opportunities for trade, you're gonna suffer, and this is basically what happened in this campaign. Is the fact that the Ottomans kept declaring war upon us so often meant that we didn't really have a lot of opportunities to expand in any sort of other direction compared to the other Western powers like France or Spain. The Spanish managed to take out Portugal, and apart from that, I'm not entirely sure, but they managed to take out Portugal, and they themselves have a lot of colonial holdings. The Spanish took out Morocco, very good. We're already at war with Morocco anyway, and the fact that we basically they reduced the amount of enemies that we have to face is very nice. But yeah, Spain itself starts off with a really good colonial empire when it comes to trade anyway. So, you know, they're already sort of a level ahead of us, even though, you know, that's just a little bit unfair, but what can you do? You know, you have to make the most of what you got. I'm not entirely sure if we really gained anything from just absorbing the Ottomans at all, because they're basically the sick man of Europe, even in this game, and they have their lands are very, you know, low quality, let's say, apart from their core territories within the Levant and Africa. Well, basically Egypt, and the only good territories really, if you actually look at a map, like from the period of time that basically after World War I and a little bit before, the only good... Oh, Great Britain declared war on France, and that could be good. The only good territories around that region are the ones that were colonized by the British and French. So if you want sort of a guide on which territories are pretty decent, just, you know, use history as guidance. Just do as the British and the French did, and you should be okay. We didn't have that opportunity. Let's destroy that school. Don't need it. Tripolitana, that's pretty decent. Let's slowly but surely start bringing that other army along. Are these guys gonna get mad? No, they're not. Very nice. But that didn't actually increase our income like at all. Though to be like fair, we did recruit a whole bunch of line infantry here, so that's a pretty big reason for that. We did destroy the school right here, and we do need that money, so let's do that. That's okay. We have a classical university right there, so that's pretty much the only thing we need. That's pretty good, but it's pretty expensive. This thing, pretty good. Reduce the chance of food shortages, which is very nice. Do we need the roads? 3,000? I don't know. This seems like a much better investment to me. The more things we have, does this apply like faction-wide? Because that means the more of these things we have, the more useful everything else is, which is quite nice. This is that's pretty decent. Okay. So let's just get those things, I guess. Still have you see, built like 3 things already out of money. Morocco destroyed, very nice. No good roads here. Actually pretty decent roads, surprisingly. This city is unprotected, so Tunisia or Tunis, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be ours. And then we're probably going to have to actually, are the Spanish at war? Basically everybody's at war with the Barbary states, so that's good. But we'll take them out, we'll take out Tunis, and I suspect we're going to have to fight the Spanish somewhere around here, around Algiers, so that's why I'm bringing up the next army along. This is a trading port. Can make a lot of money from that. A lot of money. The issue is that the trade route is blocked by Spain no matter what, so just whatever, I guess. But once we deal with that, anybody that's not allied to me in Europe itself, Hanover, Protectorate of Westphalia, and Westphalia is allied of France, Bavaria, and Württemberg. We don't have to necessarily deal with that, however, if we only attacked Hanover, that means we can take out Hanover and Westphalia. The issue is that that's not a connected territory, and that's really not something you want to deal with when you are overstretched. And our empire is quite overstretched at this point, so we could try and take out Prussia. However, you know, it's gonna take a while before we build that army up, so might just go for Genoa right now. We're friendly with them, allies with Spain. Is their city rich though? It is. It's a pretty good trade hub as well. Commercial port. Yeah, but we take the commercial port and Spain's gonna blockade it. What is this port, by the way? Not this port, this port. This is a trading port. So, is there any sort of way we could like redirect this trade route to here? I don't think that sort of mechanic was ever conceived by Creative Assembly, which is quite unfortunate. What can you do? Can we can't really see any sort of Spanish are here, so we're not going to the Straits of Madagascar. Can't really see anyone here. Okay, Spanish route right there within the Ivory Coast, and Brazil can't see anything right there. Because we could build at least like the Indian men right there and go to a trade hub somewhere. Maybe we could build just a scout, but could just get a sloop for that. So there's an army here, just a bunch of militia. Could take it out already. It's very nice. Gonna bring them up here in case we get bold and try to take out the Georgians. I wish they would take this army out they have right there, but it's not really feasible because they're at war with Russia, so that might not happen. However, simply unifying our force right here isn't going to be a bad thing, which is, if it's not bad, then it's at least decent. If it's at least decent, that's almost good. This is a shipyard. Don't really need a shipyard right now. Really don't. Do I destroy it? Just for a trade thing? Maybe a fishery? Because this is pointless to me. It does nothing. Yeah, let's destroy it. There's nothing, and just purging the land of useless buildings isn't actually a very terrible thing. Church school might be okay. Because yeah, Hungary does have some issues when it comes to happiness. However, I think we can wait for that with that and build instead some sort of a money-making thing. That's pointless. I don't know, anything else we really need to build? Could get Grenzers or Hussars, actually. Hussars might be okay. It's missile cavalry? Okay. Insurrection Hussaren. Insurrections? Okay. Like, are they rebels? Are they rebels? Gonna employ rebels? Like, really? Though we might want to get some light dragoons. That will be pretty decent. And okay, so this army here, we can recruit some African line infantry, 2 more for a full stack. That's gonna be fairly okay. Not really gonna have to worry about Tunis that much. There's no army there. Could scout ahead a little bit further and just to see if the Barbary states have like a big stack somewhere. If the British manage to take out the French right now, that won't be too bad. At least Paris, because then the French would be focused on dealing with that, and the British completely failed. Not completely, at least they have the last ship, meaning that their army at least survives and doesn't have to be completely like redone. If the yeah, that's it basically. Hopefully Savoy manages to rebel, becomes independent, we can take it out, giving us a better foothold in northern Italy. Because we basically almost completely control the region, however those city-states up there are quite annoying, and the Polish are still dancing around, still didn't take out Lvov, or take back Lvov. Quite a shame, and Russians are coming, and still nothing. Quite unfortunate for the Polish, for the Eastern Slavic, or I suppose the Poles are West Slav, so just the Slavic alliance in general. However, the Barbary states immediately blockading that port before I even managed to repair it, so that's okay. And our money is still going to shit because the Spanish are assholes. But that's something we've just grown accustomed to be honest. College in Konya. Okay, public servant dies. That was who? It's a minister. Yeah, the head guy sucks, so let's replace him. It's +1 happiness to lower classes. Out with this guy. Has the same thing, but for nobility. Okay. It's a pretty good army dude. Who else died? Treasury. Do I have anyone that's really good with treasury? No, that's pretty good for army, but he's pretty good for navy. -1 to management. It's okay, I guess. So I guess we got went out that okay. This guy's 70. This guy's 25, so he's okay. This dude's really good but really old. This guy is okay, I suppose. This chick still relatively not very youthful, but you know, it's she's okay. You know, she's trying her best, and you gotta appreciate that at some point. So the Sublime Porte. I wish I knew what that meant. come across that phrase quite a while. Oh, what was that sentence? I've come across that. I've come across that combination of words, or that name, whatever you want to call it, quite often, and I have no idea what it means. You might want to build a coaching inn for the happiness for Hungary, because they do like to rebel, because they're Hungarians. However, I think it's okay. Do need the money, so let's just do that. New town emerges, very nice. No, not school. This can be a coaching inn because it's cheaper for some reason. Then the Tripitana workers on strike. No, they're not, and that's completely fine with me. Can we take these guys out? No, we can't. Wonderful. So let's recruit the... Oh, I forgot. They're all... Oh, missile cavalry. Do we have any cav? We do have hussars. However, getting the missile cav might be actually very good. And we're just gonna ignore this whole thing. And we're gonna install a church school to slowly turn them to Catholicism. And that's going to be very beneficial to us. So Tunis, no army, no nothing. Military governor's palace is pretty okay. You can see that Sardinia is lightly defended. Does this thing have a port? No. Oh, actually it does. So you might want to just swoop in, take out Sardinia. That's pretty decent. That's not too bad. I don't think so, at least. And these guys relatively happy. What happens if we take out this unit? Still fine. What about 2 units? Still relatively fine. So I think... How much does it cost? 190. Yeah, let's disband these 2. These guys are relatively happy. What happens if we take 1 unit out? Still relatively happy. 2 units out. Doing fine. So let's get rid of them. Don't need them anymore. Just to compensate for the Spanish being assholes all the time. And yeah. Azerbaijan controlled by Persia. Not good. Well, it's not terrible, but at least it's not enemy controlled. Well, if it was enemy controlled, then we'd just take it out. So, the Persians. Why did I ally them? Could have just, you know, kill them off. Gonna build that fishery I wanted to build, and we do have to keep an army here, or at least a unit here, so they don't immediately go for our throats. Fishery is not a bad thing. Does give you relatively good wealth for what it costs. It basically pays for itself in a couple of turns, so that's what we're going for. This is a shipyard, again completely pointless, but for the Barbary states it's okay, I suppose. Not gonna deal with this at all because, you know, trading port just gets raided by the Spanish. Second-rate ship of the line. Jesus Christ. That there's no way I'm ever going to be able to match that. But yes, let's bring those guys up. And anything more? Anything we want to deal with right now? There's an army here. Ever not entirely sure what I want to do with it. Could just bring it to Prague to, you know, seem like we're doing something. Do want to keep let's keep one of them in Vienna just in case something happens. I don't know what would happen, but this army here. Are the Polish war with the Bavarians? No, they're not. They're having some kind of a standoff. Maybe Norway, Sweden, Denmark? Have like a Danish colony. Maybe we could take over Iceland. That could be interesting. That could be very interesting indeed. But yeah, Algiers, we're gonna scout that. So this army is probably gonna reach next turn. They're probably gonna get replenished next turn. It doesn't really matter, does it? So yeah, but they're recruiting. So next turn we're gonna go out, take Tunis, or at least march towards Tunis, and that's gonna be that. So capturing 2 regions, span of 3 turns. That's not terrible. It's not quite like a blitz campaign, but it's okay. You know, slowly and steadily capturing everything that we can, even though they're basically trash tier regions. But that's basically what this entire campaign's been about so far. I'm not entirely sure what even is the number of this episode, but we're managing to proceed somehow, and that's important. It's better to proceed than to stagnate, otherwise you're going to slowly slide backwards in your lack of power. And that's very terrible indeed. Well, that's a really big army from the Spanish right there. Hopefully they take it out or something. I don't know. They would possibly do with it. If we capture Algiers, they're probably going to march the army right up to our border. So we better prepare for that. We better like build a couple of more troops. At least 2 full stack armies right there, ready to repel any invasion force by the Spanish. So until we capture Algiers, because I don't think the Spanish are, actually they are the Barbary states, but the AI is a little bit strange when it comes to the Barbary states. Never really do anything to them or with them. And the Barbary states, apart from raiding my ports, can't really do anything. So that's completely fine. A whole bunch of construction being finished. But, you know, that's to be expected. Trading port getting F8 up. So, this dude gonna check out this region. Is it rich? Better 300. Whatever. Just go. These guys are not angry, but these guys can make it in there, so that's completely fine. We can repair this, but it's gonna get blockaded, so there's no point. Oh, it actually didn't manage to finish with the recruitment, so I guess these guys are gonna now have it. Which I guess that's okay. We can just recruit something for them in this region, which hopefully won't be defended very heavily. See how Algiers is doing. They have an army here. But are the Spanish doing anything with them? Doesn't seem like it. So the Spanish, maybe the Spanish, what else are they at war with? Everyone, basically everyone from my alliance, but I'm the only one doing anything, so that's sad, to be honest. Nover, still not happy. I'm not gonna pay you 2,000 for a trade agreement that's probably going to get completely shreked by someone. -1 happiness, and we can afford it in this region at least. It's one region we can afford losing some happiness. This similar situation, but no minus happiness, which is pretty good actually. Okay. Do need division of labor, however, I'm not comfortable researching that. Actually, the overall happiness situation has been getting better for a little bit, but still. 4% bonus from tax, very poor region, not really worth it. This thing, -1 happiness, yikes. This thing, same deal, This, it's 4,000 for a poor region, not willing to spend that much. This goes from 2 to 5 to basically double that. These guys relatively happy. I guess we could take it on the chin. So that's fine. This is just overall pretty decent. Do need those units though, let's remember that. So let's don't necessarily need them in Genoa. Have they got any allies in the meantime? No. They're friendly with us, so be kind of a betrayal of your trust, but what can you do? It's a cruel world. Much better divisions than I have. That one divisions, units I mean. I do not have those, so that's kind of a sad story. But again, what can you do? Hillboard Ordnance Factory. Oh, it's pretty good. So let's just, I guess, focus on just building up the regions that we do have. This is a fishery. It's the increase 100 and 100% increase in town wealth. Eventually we could just build this and have it get better taxation as well from that increased stuff. Put this here, maybe we can disband the irregulars now, just for the increase in income, a tiny bit. Not a huge amount, but it's something, and let's build that. Next turn, hopefully take out Tunis. Because we already own Tripoli. It's still 8 coins. Ugh. That's just like so not worth it, but whatever. Let's keep going. Do need to own those regions. Not entirely sure if I'm gonna like fully complete this campaign. I do want to, and it seems that Poland finally managed to take back Lvov. Didn't manage to catch it in the last turn, but from what it looks like on the world map. Oh, the French are battling someone down there. They're battling the Spanish? Are they at war with Spain? Man, if the French were at war with Spain, that would be such a help if they managed to take out all these stupid navies in the Mediterranean. That would be so helpful, especially in Central Med. But I'm not really sure, I guess not. Spain, what are you up to? Just dancing around in the Straits. Very nice. Indeed, exactly what I wanted. Oh, they're moving armies. Okay, okay. Okay, they might be up to something then. Maybe up to something. That's a very interesting strategy. Very interesting ploy. That's to be sure. But apart from that, not much happening. Hanover still, trying to beat down the Spanish. Very grateful for that. Because big empires stand no chance in this game against just a lot of small countries. That's something that you quickly realize when you play. Even Napoleon, it's the same deal. Died. Pretty decent general, so just gonna have to recruit a new one, I guess. It's okay. It's okay. Naval route located. Completely fine. It's not completely fine. What can you do? Gonna build a local fishery. We have already one there. So, by the way, very good port placement, but whatever. Let's just get a trading port then. Public servant. He was a Minister of Treasury. Yikes. That hurts. Treasury administration. It's Navy. Also the army guy. What's the good army guy? Guess we don't have a good army guy. Wow, nice. That's very nice indeed. Navy. Okay, well. So he goes because he's treasury. Okay, so this guy's pretty good in treasury. And I guess actually this might be okay. Just shuffle him around, doesn't really matter. Yeah, this is okay. Well, eventually they'll level up or something. Recruitment, there we go. We're still relatively unhappy. Let's check out Tunis. Surrender refuse. Let's just quick save because yeah. Just auto resolve it, doesn't really matter. It's a cheap tactic, but this game, who cares? Really, who cares? That's the shipyard, so I'm totally not worried about it. Where are the Spanish going to though? That's a big issue. It's a much bigger issue. Capture Tunis. Probably an extremely poor region. Actually pretty decent, so that's a surprise. a welcome one. They're at war with... They're allied with France. It's a big old bother. But what can you do? French only allied with Spain, at war with essentially everyone. They're at war with Genoa. Oh, really? So it's going to be kind of a race then. Ugh, okay. Can we take them out even without a general? Do they have a general? Yes, they do. Okay, so let's save. Let's try to save scum this one. Let's assassinate the general. Agent detected, didn't work out. Assassinate the general. Agent detected, didn't work out. So, let's just go in. Let's just attack him. And, okay, save scum. Auto resolve, defeat. Well, that was a big ol' oof. So my suspicions were basically proven true. We're just gonna continue that siege. I know it's a bit scummy, but hey, what can you do? So we do have these units here, and we also can recruit a whole. Actually, we can't. Okay, never mind then. But we're gonna bring these troops down here. Anyone else? No. So what we're gonna do is just camp here, wait for the enemy to attack us, and hopefully beat them in the battlefield fair and square. So we have 700 left. Anything else we want to do? Let's just save and end the turn. Hopefully the Genoans attack us, and you know, the French could come and help against the Genoans. That would be very nice indeed. Oh, there they go. France, brilliant. It's kind of strange that both the Spanish are allied to Genoa, and the French are more with Genoa. Oh, but the French are expanding. That's quite interesting. Oh, the French are standing near. Ah, never mind then. Never mind then. Could have been cool, but whatever. Could have been cool though. So the Spanish still dancing around. I'm not entirely sure what they're up to. But that's that. Okay, so it's quite interesting position we're in. So we should focus on taking out Genoa right now. Don't want to capture Algiers because we do need a substantial army to deal with a front line directly with Spain. Spain's very powerful right now. So the sort of colonial ragtag band we have there isn't going to cut it. The Genoans and the French are going at it quite nicely, which is okay, I suppose. Maybe we could ask... Georgia still sort of defending its hills. It's very historic, very nice. Very good. We could try and starve out the Genoans. This wouldn't be the worst thing. Surrender limit 3, so very close. Very close. Very close to actually just, you know, being fully realized. Tunis, workers on strike. Yeah. Let's not just not even gonna bother with that. They're probably gonna rebel, but whatever. Let's get the Cav in again. 4. So let's just take the militia. Of course, the militia has very little suppression capability, so let's do something like this. Which isn't optimal, but what can you do? And also start recruiting militia, and actually let's start recruiting some line divisions, even though they're colonials or they're the African troops. Westphalia destroyed, so that means Hanover is free, right? Hanover is free. War with France, of course. Maybe they'd be willing to trade right now. No, they're not, even though they're basically dead. French still at war with the British, and the British Mostly focusing in the colonial expansion thing, I suppose. Victoria. Ready? It's a bit first. It's a bit early for Queen Victoria, isn't it? Yes, it is. Coronation of Victoria was like in 1840 something, so okay then. Not my problem. But okay, very interesting. So we should -1 happiness. Ugh. Not very helpful, is it? So anything we can build here. This -1 happiness. These guys pretty happy, so let's just do it. And yeah, so managed to capture Tripoli and Tunis. Gonna starve at the Genoans. I do want to wait for the Genoans to sell out so we can have a proper battle. Yeah, that would be actually quite good. So yeah, bringing up those troops from inland Austria to help with that whole ordeal. That could be interesting. So the French tried to. What exactly did they do? Did they fight and lose? Maybe they tried to save scum just like me, but the AI can't save. You know, this late in the campaign, it's not like late in the campaign, but it's like halfway through to the end of the campaign. I think save scumming is okay. We've never really done it this campaign. We never really like lost badly, so I think it's okay. 1 save scum per campaign is okay. 2 is pushing it. 3 is just like, well, whatever. At that point, who cares? And you know, this it's not like it's a competitive match or anything, so it doesn't really matter. Against the AI, I think you should be allowed to do whatever you want. Like, for some reason, people are okay with exploiting, but not okay with save scumming, even though it's an exploit. I don't know. It's strange. Especially in like the Paradox community. Or community, whatever you want to call it. Oh, the Russians actually pushing back the Georgians for once. That's interesting. York's Riot. Very lovely. Just what I wanted to see. So what did you destroy? You destroyed the school that I was... Okay, let's burn the school then. Oh, the Prussians are finally dead. That's so sad. Whatever. Let's bring this guy here. Okay. So these guys are relatively happy. Building up those African troops. General died. Okay, let's just create a new one. Maybe that's why they're still unhappy, I guess. As for who cares? Construction. Okay, everything's okay. Money's relatively fine. -1 happiness in Naples. That's going to be completely fine. So Genoa, how are you doing with your army? Still intact, I guess? These guys fight or something? They can't fight because I'm besieging the city. So what exactly did they do then? I don't know. It's strange, but whatever. So if we take out the Panduring, can we do that? Yes, just slam in the general. Still besiege, right? Yep, yes it is. Okay, let's move these guys. Actually, they can still reinforce, so that's fine. And let's build one more infantry division or infantry unit. Move these guys here. So if they, yeah, surrenders looming in the distance for them. So there we go. I can't really do naval invasions in this game, so that's completely okay. Okay. So infrastructure here, relatively decent, I suppose. And let's start building that Imperial line infantry, just to be able to challenge the Spanish at some point in the future. Though when, that's a big old question. So, I don't know, Genoa... It's a pretty rich city. However, when we take it, it's probably gonna riot a bunch, and it's gonna be a while before we manage to do anything with it. By the way, let me check out the. Jesus Christ, that's a pretty decent army. Did we sabotage it? Mission failed. Wonderful. So they're probably going for Algiers, and then we'll have to fight them. Hopefully they'll bring out only one army and we can sort of surround them with two. That's pretty decent unit roster. Why do my units have to suck? Why is the Austrian roster like just not compete with anything the others have to bring to the table? It's sort of unfair from like just a purely pure gameplay perspective, because Austria have a terrible economy and terrible army. That's just wonderful, isn't it? Hopefully the Genoans sell out, because right now at this point they should be really just starved like quite a bit. So hopefully it's an easy victory for us. But if it's not, then whatever. We'll just continue to starve them until they give up, and they should be able to. They should be giving up next turn. So I mean, you know, it's a race against time. That's basically not going in their favor. So that's that. They're still, you know, wasting away their. Oh, there we go. Okay. This fight should be interesting. So, if you want to see this fight, watch out for next episode, which should be coming out relatively soon. So, I think that's watching, and see you next time. Oh, and by the way, I can just auto-resolve it and win it. So, you don't necessarily have to wait for the next episode, but still, if you could wait for the next episode to watch it, that'd be pretty great. But yeah, so let's take out Genoa. Bonus takeover, bonus conquest. The Barbary States want peace, not happening. But I did say I was going to take out Genoa in this episode, so there we go. Right click, auto resolve. When Genoa is almost dead, they only have Corsica left. So I think that's what you're going to see next time, for real.